show. There's a lot happening. I have many thoughts on many subjects, starting with President Joe Mama Biden. Did you know his middle name's Mama? Named after his mother. That's right. The president is in Brussels right now for an emergency summit with our NATO allies. Together, the leaders of the G7 nations put out a forceful statement warning Russia not to use chemical or nuclear weapons on Ukraine, and also posed for a series of awkward photographs, starting with a group shot. It seems unnecessary for an emergency meeting, but you can see there's Biden with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. It's like a commercial for Mentadent or something. But it's interesting to watch these leaders just kind of hanging out to see who pairs off with who. You can see that uncomfortable-looking individual is Boris Johnson. He's the Prime Minister of England. You can see he cuts his own hair, which is interesting. And so Boris has been criticized heavily at home for going to parties during COVID, but he was all by his lonesome today, just kind of trying out the new pockets, you know? Waiting for Mom to pick him up. Meanwhile, in Ukraine, President Zelensky, not only has his courage inspired people all around the world, so has his fashion sense. Sales of this Zelensky-style green shirt have skyrocketed over the past month. Is it bad that we see a leader in a bunker trying to get his nation out of a war and think, I like that look, I would like to have that? And not to take anything away from Zelensky, but I think we all know who wore it first. Of course, I mean, you got to give credit where credit is due. You can buy those shirts on Etsy. Check out this hip douchebuster cosplaying a president at war while stocking microbrews in a Brooklyn bar full of pinball machines. You know, we should get one of those Zelensky T-shirts for. You know who could use it? This guy could, I mean, because we've seen his nipples. Isn't that weird? Zelensky is the only one moving merch. There are all kinds of Putin products on Etsy. These are real items. We didn't make these up. You can buy Putin poo. You can buy a Putin butt plug. Putin eating a Ukrainian penis. Vladimir voodoo dolls. You can add some sexy pillow time with. You know, Donald Trump may have caught another lucky break thanks to this newly elected and soon-to-be reviled all-around the world district attorney, Alvin Bragg, who, for reasons unknown, appears to be backing off the district's case against Trump, the case they've been working on for years. We know this because the New York Times published a resignation letter from one of the lead prosecutors on the case, who claims they have evidence that Donald Trump committed multiple felonies and that the team working on the case has no doubt about that, but they're not moving forward. They reportedly believe that Trump falsified financial records, which, of course, he falsified hurricane records. Of course he falsified financial work. He'd falsified Don Jr.'s birth certificate if he thought he could get his name off of it. But if they don't move forward with the investigation, that means Trump has now been let off the hook by Congress twice, Robert Mueller once. He just won that case against Stormy Daniels. I'm starting to think the only one who could bring him to justice is the Batman. Today, by the way, Trump filed a lawsuit against Hillary Clinton. He's suing Hillary Clinton and 26 other people for conspiring to undermine his campaign by falsely linking him with Russia. And by the way, this was his campaign in 2016. This was the election he won. We thought he was a sore loser after 2020. He's apparently a sore winner, too, because the lawsuit states that Clinton and others worked together with a single self-serving purpose to vilify Donald J. Trump. The guy who named her Crooked Hillary is saying she vilified him. And Trump has also been meddling in the Republican primaries. Yesterday, he retracted multiple endorsements for one of his bigliest enablers in Congress, Mo Brooks of Alabama. He's mad at Mo because Mo had the audacity to urge voters at a rally to move on from the 2020 election. He's like, all right already, we need to look forward. And then Trump, who was furious, wrote, Mo Brooks was a leader on the 2020 election fraud. And then all of a sudden, during this big rally in Alabama, he went woke and decided to drop everything he stood for. When he did, the people of Alabama dropped him, and now I have done so also. This guy, Mo Brooks, his Twitter profile was Mo Brooks endorsed by President Trump. That was like his name. And his commercials were all Donald Trump all the time.
Few Republicans have as much courage and fight as Alabama Congressman Mo Brooks, a friend of mine. He's got courage. He's an honest guy. Mo Brooks. Mo Brooks has my complete and total endorsement. MAGA Mo will never let you down.
Well, maybe he will. Maybe he did. Mo Brooks was to Donald Trump what ingrown hairs are to armpits. They were like this. But now that Boss Baby's cut him loose, Mel Brooks, no, hold on. Just want to be very clear. Mel Brooks is a comedy great. He has nothing to do with any of this. The guy who's spilling the beans is Mo Brooks.
The president has asked me to rescind the election of 2020.
You said that's illegal. You can't do that. What did he ask you, and what did you tell him?
Well, he always brings up, we've got to rescind the election. We got to take Joe Biden out and put me in now.
He still says that?
Yes.
I don't know. That doesn't sound like my Donald Trump.
I'm going, Mr. President, I'm giving him advice. I'm an attorney. I've read the law. I've read the Constitution. I know it. And I say, Mr. President, you can't do that.
He's saying I knew he was irrational, and yet I still had his name tattooed on every inch of my ass in order to win the election. Only the best people, right, Guillermo?
Right, Jimmy.
Right. And the best were on parade in Washington this week. Today marked the final day of the Supreme Court hearings for Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. Ted Cruz, he even outslined himself this week. On Tuesday, he singled out this children's book called Anti-Racist Baby for promoting critical race theory, which it actually doesn't. He said the book teaches that babies are born racist, which it also doesn't. And as a result of Ted's tirade, that book is now #1 on Amazon. It's a #1 seller. It's like the opposite of Oprah's book club or something. And not only is the book selling well, since Cruz's little grandstand, Amazon is also seeing a spike in sales of psoriasis medication, wart remover, nose hair trimmers, male spanks, slug repellent, and mullet combs. So, congratulations to Ted. This is good. If you're wondering what Ted Cruz was really focused on during the hearings, somebody got a shot of him on his phone yesterday, searching for his own name on Twitter. You get... How embarrassing. And can you imagine being Ted Cruz and still wanting to know what people were saying about you online? Ted wasn't the only senator who did some play acting this week. There were a number of noteworthy performances. And with that said, here are the nominees for the Awful People's Choice Awards. Outstanding skeptical chin rub, John Kennedy.
My ability to not speak to contentious political issues.
Outstanding supporting actress, Ted Cruz.
If I decide right now that I'm a woman, then apparently I'm a woman.
Outstanding putting on and then immediately removing glasses, John Kennedy.
But first,
Outstanding sitting stone-faced while your colleague calls you a jackass, Ted Cruz.
I think we should recognize that the jackassery we often see around here is partly because of people mugging for short-term camera opportunities.
Outstanding indignant hand shop, Lindsey Graham.
Children being exploited and abused every time somebody clicks on is to put their ass in jail, not supervise their computer usage.
And the award for outstanding poker face while listening to idiots, Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson.
You think we should catch and imprison more rapists and sex criminals or fewer?
Can you provide a definition for the word woman?
Do you agree with this book that is being taught with kids that babies are racist?
Do you have anything to add?
No, Senator.
Once again, Spider-Man got snubbed. I have an update on a story we covered the other night. The story is about a dog who was given up for adoption because his owners believed he was gay. It was a male dog, that got on the top of another male dog, and which, as you know, is forbidden in the Bible. And so the owners gave him up, but the good news is he didn't stay orphaned for long.
It's such a silly reason to turn in a dog.
The dog dumped at the Stanley County Animal Shelter now has a new family, ready to love him exactly as he is.
We just thought it would make sense for the gay dog to be adopted by a loving gay family.
Fezco's old owners dumped him for being gay after he humped another male dog. To be clear, dog humping is not an indication of sexual orientation.
All dogs do it.
Well, I don't know if I agree with that. You know, we actually had remember, we had a lesbian dog when I was a kid. She was incredible. She would groom herself. It was amazing. One more thing before we stumble forward. It's Thursday night. That means it's time to bleep and blur the big TV moments of the week, whether they need it or not. It is this week in Unnecessary Censorship.
We met in college more than 3 decades ago, and since then, he's been the best husband, father, and I could ever imagine.
You've handled a large number of during your career.
It's been a very long, very intense day of and it is not over yet.
Who are your fans?
Hardworking folks that love to have a good time.
Do you them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I all the people, not just if you're a Republican or you're a Democrat, everyone.
The president had a lengthy with President Xi on Friday.
But the can be bigger, it can be wider open, there can be more going in there.
In 12th grade, so Aiden was in 9th grade, he was 14, him and my stepdad, my stepdad wanted to him, and they in the living room, fist, like how someone would do out on the street.
Let me ask you all something. How big is your Not very big at all.
I so hard during high school, you know,
Why am I mentioning this? But it's on your car. You had your chopped off. Why are you telling this?
Yeah, it's important to know.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Kimmel. If you want to see all our latest videos, click the subscribe button. And if you don't, click anyway and close your eyes when they come on.